Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Tower Casuals, the Destiny podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Derrigan. Alongside me, as always, is the loot hunting, hell bringing, leaked trailer that would have been way cooler to reveal on Sunday, Mr. Josh Finney.
Oh, man. This has been a wild afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a wild afternoon to be Josh.
Oh, man.
Spent 2 hours on Summer Game Fest, spent an hour at Day of the Devs. Thought it was safe to take a meal break and just nope. Sit in a dark room with my eyes closed, and then sure enough, I kid you not, the fucking second I close my eyes, my phone starts dinging, and it's Corey going, Josh, in all caps, Persona 3 just leaked. And I'm like, God damn it. And there's he's sending me screen caps. I found the trailers within a minute or two.
Man, dude, I was just I was just scrolling through Instagram, and I follow Atlas for, just because we're interested in all the game stuff, and I'm like, I thought it was a fake account at first. I'm like, I was like, what the hell? What's going on? And I'm like clicking through, and I'm like, no, it's their account. And I click on the video again, and I'm like, Josh. I was like, oh my god. Game Pass.
Man, I'm so excited. I really can't believe that this leak. Is this an all-time PR fumble?
Oh my gosh, man. Dude, that would have been such a huge reveal for Xbox too. Oh man, I feel so bad for everybody involved except for the person who posted it early. Thanks Atlas.
I feel really bad for the social media manager over that page because somebody is almost certainly getting fired.
Oh yeah, somebody's getting someone's getting toasted.
I saw a post earlier that was it was the only reason that the person who leaked Persona 3 and Persona 5 Tactics is still employed at Atlas is because Microsoft hasn't gotten to the office yet.
Yeah.
Microsoft's on a plane to Japan right now. Phil Spencer's going to fly there and then fly right back.
Yeah. Oh man.
He's going to show up, crack the whip a couple times, and then fly back to the States. But no, really, that is... It's been rumored for about a month and a half that Persona 3 Remake would be shown at the Xbox conference on Sunday. It was actually one of my, predictions. It was one of my predictions when you and I did our Xbox predictions for Boss Rush last week.
Dude, that episode's doing really well, by the way.
This is a guaranteed reveal at this point. And I find this even funnier because... just yesterday, I think, yesterday evening, Kind of Funny put out a predictions video for it, and in it, Tim Geddes, laughed at the idea of Persona being at the Xbox show. He's like, I just don't see anything like that getting revealed at the Xbox show, and then 24 hours this comes out, and it's somebody, get a hold of that Twitter account, Freezing Cold Takes, or something, because that did not age well. I do think it's funny. It looks fucking phenomenal. It's Persona 3, but rebuilt in the Persona 5 engine. Very interested to see how they do the dungeons, since the dungeons were procedurally generated in 3 and 4.
I wonder if this will be a full reimagine thing where I wonder if the dungeons will be kind of set, because I
think the problem with 5 is 5 was the first one that had set dungeons, and they were so good. Mm-hmm. Just 3's story doesn't really lend to set dungeons is the problem. So I'm very curious to see how they do this. I really kind of hope that there's a little bit of gameplay that they show on Sunday, but I don't think they're going to because this is Atlas. Yeah. I would like to see some hands-on game. We do know Atlas has a panel on July 3rd at Anime Expo, and it's supposed to be an hour-long panel. So we suspect that this and Tactics are what'll be shown there. Maybe a teaser for Persona 6 at the end. But I think that you would have to reimagine a lot of 3. This is not a remaster. I want to be really clear. This is a full-on remake.
Yeah.
3 very much plays like a visual novel, but it was the bones for what 4 and 5 would become. This is kind of working in reverse. We're going to take the custom engine we made with, and this is made in Unreal. They are using UE4, I think, for this. I don't think this is 5.
No, it's 4.
It's 4 because it's got to run on the Switch is the thing. And it
has. Did they confirm it was coming to Switch?
Yes.
Oh man,
it is coming to everything. This thing can run on Xbox One. It's coming to the Switch.
Yeah, my whole thing is like not like I love my Switch, I really do. I mean, I run a Nintendo
Mhm.
podcast for God's sake, but like every time I see one of these third party games, like bigger third party games get announced for Switch, I'm like, oh man, this is I wonder how I always wonder how it's gonna run or if it's gonna hold
Yeah,
anything
I
back.
mean, it's
Not that,
pretty clearly going to be the worst performing one, and that's like not even a contest.
yeah.
Like you
I mean,
said,
not that like Persona is like a graphical powerhouse by any stretch of the imagination,
I
but
mean, Royale's pretty damn good looking.
no, I mean, yeah, I know, but I mean, like, it's not like I feel like
Yeah,
the graphical style
yeah,
lends itself better to scaling.
it does. And I think that's like the one saving grace here. Um, and then Tactics is coming out, which very much looks Persona Q inspired. The 3DS games.
Hmm.
It's that combined with like point and click strategy. So a little curious to see how that works out. But it's like I told a friend of mine, I was like, hey, they're both coming to Game Pass. I'm not worried about it. If I like 3, I'll do the same thing I did with Royale, and I'll go out and buy a physical copy of it. So I imagine Tactics is probably digital only, and that Reloaded will be probably physical as well.
For Switch, it'll just be the box with a game card or
Oh
game
my
token in it.
god, yeah, the games are
Like,
so fucking huge. I am really excited though. I do think that would have been a megaton announcement. I'm still holding that Yakuza 8 gets announced on Sunday, even though we got a Yakuza game shown today.
I
This
bet
is
it
like one of
does.
those. This is one of those spin-off ones.
Hmm.
It's a $50 spin-off game, which got leaked by PSN last night, which was really funny.
Yeah.
PSN and Atlas quickly becoming the new Walmart Canada over here.
Mm. Man,
But
remember
it
that
just it
Walmart
made me
Canada leak?
really excited for what we can see. I mean, we saw more Alan Wake, cool. That was already at the PlayStation show. It looks just phenomenal. They I can't believe this is where we got Spider-Man 2 info at. Like, you didn't just announce the release date 2 weeks ago?
Right.
That was really bizarre to me that they like there was like this big blog post about like, oh, we're not ready to commit to a release date, and it's like, well, Jeff definitely knew this was coming already, so
Yeah.
this is awkward.
Right. Did
This
you see
makes
the
that
$300 collector's
PlayStation
edition?
showcase even more baffling.
I know. God, I don't even want to think about the play. It was
I
awful. That thing was.
God.
There was absolutely nothing in that showcase that had me excited. Like
I mean, like even building on top of that, like there was some Exoprimal there today. That's almost certainly getting shown at Capcom Showcase on Monday,
yeah.
along with oh, what was the other Capcom thing that we saw today?
I mean, there's the Street Fighter crossover.
That was the Exoprimal thing.
Yeah.
I feel like there was something else from Capcom that I'm completely forgetting.
Shoot. Hold on.
This is actually really bothering me now that I can't remember it off the top of my head. I don't know. It'll come back to me eventually.
Yeah.
Oh, Dragon's Dogma 2. That's what I was going to say. Dragon's Dogma 2 is going to be at the Capcom show. I'm like, okay, we got a trailer for that at PlayStation Showcase. Like, it was just very weird that, like, as soon as Alan Wake 2 got shown at the PlayStation show, Jeff Keighley, like, not even 2 hours later, him and Remedy are like, yo, we're going to have a full level of gameplay at Summer Game Fest. I was like, Jesus, like, way to kick them when they're down.
Right.
Liza P continues to look really interesting if you're in the Soulsborne games. That looks really interesting. There's a demo out now, apparently. So you could check that out. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, though. I mean, that stole the show. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
That was the best part of the whole show. There were 2 surprise announcements before we get to Final Fantasy, I guess. There were 2 announcements I did really like in the early portions of the show, and that was the like Metroidvania style Prince of Persia game that was shown.
Yeah, that
Like
was
2.5D. I'm very excited for that. Also, hilarious that a brand new Prince of Persia will come out before the Sands of Time remake.
I know. Well, that whole remake got
We've
rebooted,
been covering
right?
that since before we started Tower Casuals.
Right.
I think that's the summer that it got announced. It was supposed to come out like 6 months later, and then like a month before release, it just vanished. And they were like, "Yeah, we're not ready to release it," and it just like got completely scrapped and restarted. Apparently, I have no idea that it's gonna be the next Beyond Good and Evil 2 and Skull and Bones over there. And then the new Sonic game looks awesome.
Yeah, it looks really cool. I was shocked.
I'm super bummed that it's only on the Switch and the Epic Game Store.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's. I mean,
Unless I like misread something, but I don't remember seeing any logos at the end. I saw something floating around on Twitter that it was like only on
no.
those.
Well, no, because Xbox has it. Sonic, new 2D Sonic's title spreading onto Xbox this year.
Oh, okay. Okay. So I definitely misread it then. I thought it was only on those, and I was like, this is fucking baffling.
Yeah. It looks cool though. It kind of reminds me of like the good parts of Sonic Generations. I'm kind of excited though because it kind of reminds me of like their new Super Mario Brothers take, right? Because they're like multiplayer. You can play it multiplayer if you want, and I don't know. It looks cool.
Yeah, that was really appealing to me because like my girlfriend absolutely loves classic Sonic the Hedgehog. So she liked Sonic Mania a couple years ago, and I managed to show her this trailer before she left for work, and she was like, yes, we're getting this as soon as it comes out.
Yeah, it looks cool. I bet you think it's a $70 title.
No.
I bet it's like 40 or 50.
I'm gonna go with 30.
Ooh.
I'm gonna make another bold prediction. I think that we see that game again on Sunday.
With the Sonic one?
Yeah. I've become more and more emboldened in a thought that I've had going around in my mind for the last couple weeks, which is that I think that so bear with me here. I know we'll get to the Destiny. We'll get to Destiny in a minute, I promise. There's not a lot to talk about in Destiny this week, unfortunately.
No, we have to get through Summer Game Fest, and we have to get through Josh's 30-minute rant on Diablo.
Oh my god. That's a whole nother thing entirely. I think that Microsoft may announce a long-term deal with Sega. Like, not in terms of exclusives, but in terms of, like, Game Pass deals.
Yeah, I was thinking that, too.
The last couple of years, they've had either big acquisitions or big partnerships to announce at each showcase that they've done. And, you know, going all the way back to 2018 is when they started with the studio sprees. They announced Ninja Theory, Undead Labs, Playground Games, and Compulsion would be joining Xbox. They announced forming at the Initiative. Later that fall, they announced Obsidian and In Exile. The next year, Double Fine joins Xbox during E3. That fall, they announced a big deal with Square to bring a ton of Square games to Game Pass over the next, like, 18 months. Like, at one point, we had all the Final Fantasies that used to be on PlayStation on Xbox, including, like, all Final Fantasy X and Final Fantasy 13, like, things that had never been on Xbox before.
Well, 13 was on Xbox.
The 13, yeah, but like 7, 8, 9, and 10 had never been on Xbox before.
Right.
That was back when they were releasing the HD versions of these games.
Yeah.
The Kingdom Hearts, the old Kingdom Hearts games all came. Yeah,
I bought them all. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm proud of you.
Corey, you gotta speak with your wallet, Josh. You gotta be like, look.
You have to speak with your wallet.
Well, when it's full, I guess. Or...
I mean, 2020, they didn't really have any. Well, they had the Bungie deal in 2020 to bring Destiny and all its expansions to Game Pass. Beyond Light coming day one was huge. 2021, the Bethesda deal finishes going through, so they're showing off a ton of Bethesda stuff on their stage at E3. And then last year, of course, oh man, we got the three-headed beast of Riot, the Riot partnership, the Kojima partnership, and Persona finally showing up on Xbox. So that leads me to believe they're going to have something this year. And it's not an acquisition, let's be honest. They cannot acquire anything while they're trying to do Activision Blizzard. That would look terrible. Certain Affinity might be the only thing they could get away with, just because of how close those two are.
Yeah.
But if it's a Sega deal, it would kind of line up, since we both seem to think that Yakuza 8 is going to be announced there. 2 Persona games are technically getting announced without being leaked.
Right. They could probably also do like I mean, there's the rumored Crazy Taxi and Jet Set Radio reboots.
So right? The Jet Set Radio is where I went. What if that was like the third and final Sega announcement on Sunday was Jet Set Radio coming to Xbox as a timed exclusive. Because that franchise does have a history on Xbox. The superior Jet Set Radio feature was actually the first pack-in game that they did with the Xbox back in the day.
Yeah, I still have the double disc with that and Sega GT 2002.
Sega GT, that was the other one. But I mean, like, Sega has a long history of working with Xbox. In fact, when Series X was coming out and Sonic Blue controller was there. We called it Conspiracy Blue for the longest time.
I know. I remember. I got it.
You do, in fact, have it. But like Crazy
right
Taxi
here.
3 was an Xbox exclusive in its first year or two.
Yeah.
Anybody remember that? I think it was like Crazy Taxi in Las Vegas is where it was.
It was called High Rollers. High Rollers with an A.
It's just what Shenmue came to Xbox. There was a lot of stuff. So I don't think
if it didn't say Sonic on it. If it didn't say Sonic on it, it came to Xbox. Sonic went to GameCube. So
that's true. I had to actually think for a second. That's entire. The old ones would eventually come to Xbox Live Arcade, but yeah, for the longest time it was for that whole first generation. It was like they were like, no, you guys ran us out of business. We're gonna finally give Nintendo their due and let them have Sonic. You guys get everything else. I really think that's like, I want to imagine that the president of Sega walked in there and was like, all right, guys, listen, the Yakuza team had a Brinks truck back up to their offices and offer them all this money to put the entire series on Xbox. It's now beloved in the West. Because it was a very niche franchise, I would argue, up until Like a Dragon.
Yeah.
Like a Dragon was kind of the coming out party in the West, I think, in a lot of ways. And having the whole series on Game Pass certainly didn't help. And then beyond that, like, Atlas has always just done weird shit, and I think that's when Sega finally stepped in and was like, no, stop it. We're not doing this, like, oh, we're going to release in Japan and then release in the States like a year later. We're only going to put it out on one obscure platform. The Switch is going to get Persona 5 Strikers, but not the actual first game. Just all these weird we're going to give them Persona 4 Arena, but not give them Persona 4.
Yeah, and the dancing game, like...
Oh my god, the fucking dancing games, like, we're gonna give you all this stuff, but we're not gonna give you the actual games that any of them are based on. It's just very weird decisions. The only thing more Atlas than the decision to, like, make a Persona 5 Tactics game, I feel, would have been to announce, like, Persona Tactics or Persona 3 Remake exclusive to the Amazon Luna. Like, that would have been the most Atlas thing I can possibly imagine, but just... That would have been my top announcement of Summer Game Fest, but here we are with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which looks fucking wild. 2 discs on PS5.
It's ridiculous.
I can't get over this.
You know what this secretly confirmed, though? So, the Porsche 75th anniversary.
Oh my fucking god! I hate.
I mean, you know there's going to be a Porsche on the Xbox stage now. You know there's going to be a Porsche there with the second Xbox.
That's the funny thing. I actually don't think that there is. They already revealed the cover cars for Forza.
Yeah, but they have 6 separate consoles to reveal.
Oh, this is so fucking stupid. This is absolutely like the most Jeff Keighley thing that could happen. It felt like a commercial right in the middle of it. Because at first I was like, "Oh my god!" Like I was watching it with our friend Austin, and he was like, "Are they showing Forza Motorsport here?" And no, I was like, Austin, we got to brace ourselves for like 6 minutes of fucking Forza Motorsport information on Sunday, even though they've already announced 2 separate streams that it'll be a part of next week.
Right. Also, what if they reveal a white Series X though? Because those skins were on white Series X's. That was a rumor. That was a rumor going around afterwards.
I'll be honest. I've just like kind of lost my. I don't want a big white Series X. I think that the black just like, I think it just looks better personally.
I mean, I'm not buying another Series X. I'm just like, but what I would do though, I wouldn't mind having a black Series S.
So, riddle me this before we move on to Diablo. So the Starfield controller and headset leaked this week, and they look they look pretty cool. I dig them. There's got to be a Starfield console, right?
Yeah, there's a Starfield.
There's like a 0% chance there's not a Starfield console.
No, there's a Starfield console. I feel it.
There has to be. You don't spend $8 billion for a new IP and not make a console for it.
Right.
What else are they going to do? Oh, here's a Forza Motorsport console. Nobody wants that. Give me the Starfield.
What was the Halo one's the only one they've done,
yes.
Right?
I have the Halo one. I love the Halo one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just didn't think they did anything else other
I
than
could
that,
see them
except for like
doing one
giveaways.
for. I feel like they're going to do one for Starfield, and like maybe they'll do like a Black Series S or something.
Yeah. God, what if the
Um,
Series S was the Starfield console?
oh my god, dude!
That
Don't.
would be such a wrong move.
Shh, they're gonna hear you. Let's shift gears a little bit. Let's
Hold
no
on,
pun intended.
before we do that,
Yes,
what do you think of this Spider-Man 2 Collector's Edition?
I think this is fucking overpriced as hell. I think this is absurd. $230 for a statue that frankly doesn't look that good.
I know, this is so
I have
ridiculous.
seen better statues for under $100 at my local comic shop.
Yeah,
I can't believe how bad this looks. Then like that's all you get with it too. You get that the game,
and you spoiling the game.
Well, I mean, if you played Spider-Man 1, the post credits show the symbiote and Harry Osborn. So
I know, but like what if that was the tease for like I don't know. I just feel like
I don't think it's spoiling
you have
anything.
the black suit.
They've been saying for a couple of years that it's going to be Venom and Kraven.
Have they? I didn't.
Yeah,
know
the official
Venom.
the press release back at the announcement in like 2021 said it was going to deal with Kraven and Venom.
I knew they were talking about Kraven a lot. I didn't know they announced.
I mean,
Venom.
also let's be honest, the symbiote suit, like, yeah, you knew that was coming.
Yeah. Also, Josh, just to give you another hot take before you talk about Diablo,
hit me.
I haven't been paying attention to Spider-Man because I don't really care about Spider-Man.
Oh my god, get the fuck out of here. Moving on before A1 Johnny literally transcends space and time to strangle Corey. Diablo 4, man. The current frontrunner in the game of the year that is not The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom sweepstakes.
Yeah.
What a fucking triumph of a game. Man, it's so good. I am a week in and I am like maybe halfway through Act 3 of 6 right now. I am taking my sweet, pathetic time with this game, doing dungeons, doing side quests. I love it. I love it so much. There's so much content in this game that I'm just never going to experience because I'm probably realistically not going to do 110 unique dungeons.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's a lot. It's a lot. And some of these hallways start feeling the same after a while. This is one of those, like, I feel like I'll like finish the story and then I'll probably leave for a while and then I'll come back. Rod Ferguson confirmed this week there are 2 actual expansion packs in development in addition to seasonal content.
Mm-hmm.
So I look forward to seeing how this is going to go. This is going to be one of those, like, I'll probably come back like once a year and play it and catch up on stuff.
Rod Ferguson, man.
Rod Ferguson is the man.
Yeah.
I cannot think of somebody better to lead a Diablo team. God, I hope he runs Blizzard within the next couple months. Just please put Rod in charge.
Yeah, some people are wanting him to take Matt Booty's job, and I'm like, well, they're not going to get rid of Matt.
He's not going to take Matt Booty's, but I very realistically could see him taking over Blizzard in Activision Blizzard.
Yeah, I could see that too.
Not that I think like Mike Ybarra is necessarily a problem, but the fact that it kind of rubbed me the wrong way that he didn't stick up for Jen O'Neill when they were the quote co-leaders at Blizzard. Yeah. And basically just like let Bobby Kotick get rid of her. That has not sat well with me. Yeah. I have actually really been bothered by that for a long time. So I do think that a major leadership change has to come to Activision Blizzard. And I actually feel like Sarah Bond will probably be placed in charge of overall Activision Blizzard.
Yeah, I mean, I've kind of been... I don't know. I kind of think Sarah Bond's next in line to take over for Phil when he leaves.
I do think that as well, and I think that this would be the stepping stone to like make, if she can run like Infinity Ward, Blizzard, Toys for Bob, King.
Well, I wonder.
Like,
I wonder if they'll like do some shuffling and just have somebody run Activision and somebody run Blizzard. Right?
I do think that's going to be the thing. I think they'll be separate entities. They'll break them up underneath a new corporate structuring. I wouldn't be surprised to see Mike get moved over to be in charge of Activision, or even like just take like I don't remember who the studio head is at Infinity Ward these days, but maybe promote them to oversee like not even like Activision, but that's basically Call of Duty at this point.
Yeah, like Call of Duty. Like, here's who you report to for Call of Duty type thing.
Yeah, have the studio like have Infinity Ward, Raven, and like the Call of Duty teams at like Treyarch and Sledgehammer report to them, and maybe regroup the other studios under Matt Booty or Sarah or somebody like that.
Yeah.
I think you're going to have to do some kind of restructuring. Basically, that's 3 big entities that you're getting, in addition to the rights for Call of Duty, Overwatch, World of Warcraft,
Crash Bandicoot,
Spyro.
Spyro.
God, who gets the Tony Hawk rights in the divorce?
I think it was confirmed that Xbox would have the rights to Tony Hawk.
Really? So that's been like the thing. Can we see if they can get what was the other one that they made a couple of them? They did Shaun White. They did
Matt Hoffman's BMX.
Matt Hoffman, Kelly Slayer's Pro Surfer. Who remembers that one?
Yeah. And they all had that same logo.
I know. Could we see now, if we're gonna do this, I need them to release the long fabled 3 and 4 remaster for Tony Hawk.
Yeah. I mean, well, that's the first thing they could do is like
that's
say,
like sitting in a vault.
Vicarious Visions, please come back and finish this.
Vicarious Visions, congratulations. You are no longer in Blizzard hell. Toys for Bob, congratulations. Throw those multiplayer maps away. Throw Wumpa League away. We have a smattering of IP you can choose from, or you can make your own thing. We don't really care. You have a smorgasbord of options here. I'm rapidly losing hope that Viva Pinata ever comes back, though. After Andy Robinson over at VGC this week said that Everwild, it's been a while since he heard an update, but the last he heard, it was much more Viva Pinata-esque than like action adventure.
Yeah, that's what I heard on Nextlander today. They were talking about it.
And that he's actually very confident in the game now, which is a big turnaround from like year and a half ago when him and Jeff Grubb were like, ooh, this is probably going to be terrible. Like, this game sounds bad. It sounds like it's in development hell. He's like, nah, it's still a ways out. It'll still be a while before we see it. But no, he's like, I have a lot of hope. And I think the director who's doing it is the same one that turned Sea of Thieves around, if I remember correctly. So, yeah, all the hope in the world for that one.
Yeah.
But, man, fucking Diablo, though, dude. This is the funnest multiplayer experience I've had in so long. It's fun by yourself. It's a blast with friends.
Tell me, so I've never really played a lot of Diablo. I played Diablo 2 a little bit, and I played some Diablo 3. But, like, Diablo's never really been my thing. Is this something that somebody who's not really into Diablo could play?
Yes. John has never gotten into Diablo. A1 Johnny, friend of the show, has never gotten into Diablo, really, and is completely obsessed with 4. He even tried after the beta to go back and play 3 to get some of his Diablo fix in and couldn't stand it. So if you've never liked Diablo before, this is a lot more friendly, I think, to new players and especially to console players. It was built with controllers in mind. So it controls better, like right off the bat, but it's also, in my opinion, it's a lot more RPG focused. It's very much an ARPG. So, an ISO. And I really like that about it. I think that the classes all feel unique. They all feel great. You have that great power fantasy there. The story is really engaging. The lore is engaging. Like I said, it's the front runner right now in the sweepstakes of I'm not Tears of the Kingdom, but I would be Game of the Year any other year.
Yeah.
It's kind of a 2-horse. For me, it's a 2-horse race between that and Jedi Survivor right now.
I wonder if Diablo has the chops to beat out Zelda.
It doesn't.
I mean, I'm sure a lot of, I just, I don't know. A lot of people are talking highly of it, but
I say that like kind of begrudgingly. I feel like this game is not gonna top Zelda just because like Zelda kind of transcended pop culture a lot like Animal Crossing did. But it's also like I've never seen a game not never, but I haven't seen a game take over social media the way that Zelda did outside of Elden Ring in a very long time.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be the staying power for it. I think Diablo will have the staying power too. Jedi Survivor is going to be a casualty. But when you're going to have in the next like 3 or 4 months, you're going to have Final Fantasy 16. You've got Street Fighter 6 just came out to the best reviews in franchise history. It's got like a 92 on Metacritic right now, I think. One of the best reviewed fighting games ever. You got Armored Core 6 on the way. You've got Baldur's Gate 3. You've got Starfield. Spider-Man 2 is going to come out. Forza is going to come out. Pikmin 4 is going to come out. Like, that's just like in terms of triple A's, like right off the top of my head. Hellblade 2 is probably coming out this year. Like,
Oh my
there's
god,
so
that's the
many
one that's
games.
circled for me. Is
There's
Hellblade.
so many that are going to be vying for that game of the year. I do think that Diablo is probably a lock for a nomination, because I do think that it's not like listen, I like fighting games, but fighting games are a niche genre compared to like action adventure or RPGs.
Yeah.
I think right now, if you had to guarantee two games that are going to be Game of the Year nominees, it's Tears of the Kingdom and Diablo 4.
Yeah.
It's way too early to predict the other ones, but I suspect Final Fantasy 16 probably gets a pretty big push. Starfield
That game
probably
seems
gets in the
pretty.
mix.
That game seems pretty divisive, I feel like, in terms of like what
Um,
people want from Final Fantasy. Not the
yeah,
quality of the
I
game
think
specifically.
it's because it's like shifted so far in the direction of Devil May Cry.
Yeah.
They're
Well,
definitely
I mean,
trying to
that's
modernize it, which is a good thing. But
yeah.
I think that I don't know. If it controls similar to 7 Remake, then I think they made the right decision. I think 7 Remake's combat was awesome. But also, like, the whole time I'm playing 16, I'm going to be like, damn, I'd really just kind of rather be playing Rebirth right now.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing. It's just like, wow, Square's Final Fantasy team is going to deliver 2 must-play experiences in like 8 months of each other.
And
There's a lot
that's
to
good
come in
for
this
them
second
though.
half. It's going to be wild. There's some great looking indies that are coming. Liza P, I think, could be a spoiler for some people.
Yeah, I just downloaded the demo for that.
We're going to have 2 major DLCs this year. Well, it remains to be seen if the Elden Ring DLC will come out this year, but Phantom Liberty is coming. That's going to be big.
Shocked that wasn't there today, to be
That
honest.
so Microsoft has the marketing for it, so I actually would not be
Yeah.
shocked. What if so they clearly tried to recreate the whole, like, they wanted people to have the reaction to Nicolas Cage that they did to Keanu at Xbox's E3 in 2019. Do we think it's at all possible that Idris Elba comes out on stage to promote Phantom Liberty?
Yeah, I would 100%
If
guarantee it.
like, how much money do you think they offered him and Keanu to come out for like 60 seconds?
They will. What if they both walked out?
That's what I'm saying. Like, how much
That would
money do
be
you think they offered to get both of them there?
that'd be amazing. I mean, probably a dump, probably enough to fund a whole game for a year. Fund the development of the
God,
game for a
man,
year.
they just like diverted one of the Persona jets to
Yeah.
go to Idris Elba's home in the UK.
They straight up canceled the Halo the Halo project.
Oh my god, dude! One thing I do not think we're seeing is Tanaka. Diablo is just like this. It's this fascinating experience, I think, and like we have a couple Diablo questions, and in fact, I actually want to get to one of them right off the bat. Because I was really interested in this question that got dropped in our Discord. We're gonna get to all the Diablo questions, but Hail Hydrafool writes in and goes, in Destiny, I main a warlock, but I play a necromancer in Diablo 4. My friend plays Titan and Barbarian. Do you see yourselves picking similar archetypes in games?
Yes, I definitely do.
So Corey does. Corey likes to punch things.
It's very true.
That's what I'm gathering here.
Yes.
I like to be the stealthy type. Like, usually in like a fantasy RPG, I like to be the guy with like stealth and a bow. So I do think that I play pretty similar, which is why it's really funny that I'm not playing a rogue in Diablo. I'm playing a necromancer, which I think kind of like aligns with that. Like, I like to play in the shadows and do ranged attacks and stuff.
Yeah, plus like the necromancer can have your army of skeletons do most of it for you while you
Oh my god,
whip
dude!
around in
That
the
between
back.
that and my all my blights and my I turn my corpse explosions into shadow blights too. The whole screen is just like black. Nobody can see what's
Nice.
going on, but you just see all the damage going on everybody because there's so many of these things going off at once.
That's funny.
It's really rewarding on the higher difficulties to be seeing things like that. I would say that in response to another question that we had, which is from Knox. Assuming Blizzard does not immortalify Diablo 4, do you see yourself continuing to play D4 in the long term? Yeah, I kind of addressed this a little bit earlier. I will probably keep playing Diablo, kind of off and on, but once I finish the story and once I unlock World Tier 3, because I do want to do at least the capstone dungeon of World Tier 2. Once I do that, I actually will put the game down regardless of how close I am to like level 100 for a while. I want to let the seasons kind of build up. I'll probably put down for a year or more until the first expansion, then come back, do all the seasonal content I missed, and hit the expansion pretty hard. But Diablo games have crazy long legs. I mean, Diablo 3 came out like 2010, I think, and we're still playing it. Everybody was still playing it like a decade later. So, and that survived the auction house. If we can survive the Diablo 3 auction house, Diablo 4 can survive anything.
Yeah.
Also, like Immortal. So I do have a problem with the monetization. Not in this game. Like in Diablo 4, there is some pretty egregious microtransactions, but it's not anything too out of the ordinary. If you've ever played Final Fantasy 14, you've seen mounts that can easily be $50 and add nothing to your game. So it just being purely cosmetic doesn't really bother me because I'm strong enough not to pay for that stuff. And I think the transmog system in the game is already really good anyways. As for Immortal, I think that was partially a Blizzard, partially a NetEase decision because NetEase's games are like that in general. I would say that I'm optimistic on the outlook for monetization for Diablo 4 and like the milking of content, but I want to see what happens once Microsoft takes control because plans that are in place now could easily be scrapped. I trust Rod in running Diablo 4.
Yeah.
I trust him. I know that he had a lot to say about Immortal also, but I get the feeling that Immortal was already long since planned to be basically a cash grab and a money machine before he came on board.
Yeah.
But he is the franchise director. He's not the actual game director of 4, but he is the franchise director. He's essentially the Luke Smith for Diablo.
Yeah.
So, and then, god damn, I hate my neighbors so much.
What was that?
He's revving his fucking engine out there like an asshole, and he's going to keep doing it for like the next couple minutes. He does this like at least once or twice a week. I fucking hate this guy. He does it in the middle of the night. He does it at like 11 p.m. and there's people who like start yelling at him from their windows.
What is wrong with you?
We've all reported this guy too. We don't think he actually lives here, but we've all reported him. Knox also asks, what's your favorite Diablo 4 build you have seen thus far? I mean, I'm gonna be real here. It's Necromancer. I like the Necromancer build that I'm running. I haven't really looked at any builds just because I'm having fun experimenting with all the different abilities myself. Diablo 4 makes it so easy to refund your skill points and then reapply them, especially when you get higher up in the content, because you cap out on skill points at level 49 and you switch over to Paragon points after that, which can be like infinite if you want them to be. Basically, there's I think 280 you can earn on each character. That's kind of wild to think about. That's before like a level cap increase will probably be included down the line. And the Paragon is where like you can truly specialize in certain skills. So very much looking forward to that. You pick like a specialization like a War Priest or something like that in my instance. I think Blight Master is another one, and I absolutely want that because I focus on doing damage over time. It's a great game though. I think it's got a lot of depth to it. If you are playing Diablo 4 in the Discord, we have a Tower Casuals clan set up. It's just Tower Casuals, 2 words, in Diablo. So feel free to come join us, have fun. There's about 7 or 8 of us in there, and we're still trying to figure out how clans really work or what the benefit is for clans in Diablo. But for right now, we've got one going.
I bet when seasons start, there'll be a better kind of.
I think so too.
Definition.
First season starts like mid-July, so I'll actually probably finish the story up here in the next week or so, and then probably put it down so I can shift back to Zelda or shift over to Final Fantasy.
Yeah,
I'd really like to get Zelda done before 4th of July, and I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, good luck with that, man.
Good luck with that.
I would like to get Zelda done in the next year.
We have one final Diablo question, and that is from Ronnie. I haven't played Diablo in forever. I need your best used car salesman pitch to get me to buy it. You want to see how many? It's just like slaps hood of car. You want to see how many dungeons I can cram into this baby? This is a grinder and loot chaser's paradise, Ronnie. If you like experimenting endlessly with different builds, and they make it so easy to do other characters. If you finish the campaign on one character, when you start another one, you can skip the entire campaign automatically.
Oh my gosh, what a concept.
What a
You have
fucking
to pay,
concept. And you don't
you
have
have
to
to
pay
pay
for
for
it
it.
either. You don't have to pay for it either.
What a concept.
You unlock shit for all your characters as you complete certain challenges in the world. It's great. It's absolutely fantastic. So yeah, no, Ronnie, if you like doing that, this is the kind of like loot that it's almost overwhelming how much I get, but they make it so easy. You can travel back to the main town to sell shit or scrap things while you're in a dungeon.
What?
Imagine that. As long as you don't leave that town, and it'll pop up with a big ass warning if you start to, you can travel to and from freely.
Wow.
Just not
What
in
a
a boss.
con.
I think boss battles are the only time that it gets disengaged. But if you're playing co-op and you go to like the hub city of that area that you're in, you can teleport instantly to your teammates, to whatever teammate you
Wow.
want. You just go to their
Wow.
bubble. They surround the town square. It's fantastic. This game is very, very, very multiplayer oriented. And like World Tier 1, I can blow through pretty easily by myself. World Tier 2, you better bring some homies because that shit gets rough.
Yeah.
But it's still a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying it right now. I encourage you, if you like loot and you like grinding, this is the game for you. But Corey, alas, 40 minutes in, we do have a little bit of Destiny to talk about this week. Not
We
much,
do.
frankly. There really isn't a whole lot.
Josh, we have to do something though, Josh.
What do we have to do?
We have to acknowledge and pour one out for the TWAB, because the TWAB
Is now the
is
twig.
no more. Yeah. We talked about this like 3 times.
We did. We literally wondered what this was going to be called. I'm still going to call it the TWAB until at least Marathon is out. I'm going to be completely honest. I see no reason to switch this right now. I think this is really silly to change this right now.
Yeah.
But whatever. I'm not in charge. I don't make the decisions.
I get when there's multiple games out that you want to do this, or like, like a couple months, or like maybe 6 months out when Marathon starts its real marketing cycle, right? Like,
yeah,
sure. But like, man, if Marathon's like a year and a half out or whatever, and they're like,
Marathon's not coming before next Christmas. I promise.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I mean, though. It's
Even
like,
then, I think they're probably holding it till spring 25, honestly, because they're not going to want it to get. They probably won't want this to get in the way of the 10th anniversary of Destiny.
Yeah, my theory is it doesn't want to get in the way of the anniversary after the final shape. Destiny, I bet, takes maybe a year off from an expansion.
Oh man, they're going to have to go to like Curse of Osiris priced level expansions, I think, for a little while.
Yeah.
To kind of wrap up. They need to be bigger than Seasons, but they need to be longer than Seasons also, so that you're not feeling pressured to play all the time. You can't just abruptly not have any content. That's how you'll lose your entire player base. And that's kind of the corner they've backed themselves into. Speaking of backing into corners, though, we don't have much in the TWAB, so we'll cover that in a second. We have to talk about these disconnects. We have to talk about the absolute dog shit servers again.
Yeah.
It's bad. It's real bad. They keep going down. Last night, I think it was right as I was getting ready to go to bed, there was a message that came out that said, hey, we're entering all-day background maintenance. You might be returned to orbit when we start. That's a pretty standard notice. And then like an hour later, they sent out another notice saying that the game is coming down for emergency maintenance. And it was down for most of the night. It goes back up, gets pulled down again a couple hours later. And it's just like, oh my God. Like the solution that they had to have this avoided clearly is not working, even though they just implemented it like a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
This is bad. Like the response I saw from everyone was like, well, I'm going back to Diablo then.
Yeah, this is a bad look, especially right now when you're going to try to retain a player base.
Look. This is a horrible look. You have a pissed off player base.
You have a competitor like right now that's like getting outstanding reviews, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, like, and it remains to be seen. Like, does Diablo have the staying power? I don't think Diablo even needs to. Like, that game is going to sell 40 million copies without even blinking. It's already been played within 3 days of early access. It had already been played 93 billion hours or something.
Right.
Like, which is more than recorded human history, I think, is what the metric Blizzard had was, or like 10,000 years worth of playing time, something like that, some absurd number. When I think about things like that, I start going, okay, Bungie's got to do something. I don't know what has to happen. Like, it's clear this game is hanging on until the final shape comes out. They really should have just. It's so easy to backseat dev, right? Like, okay, we probably should have. Maybe Activision was onto something. Maybe we should have broken off into Destiny 3 with the release of the Witch Queen. Maybe we should have gone. I don't know if you could have gone next gen only then, but certainly you should have just you should have just honestly cut the cord for Lightfall. There's no reason that Lightfall could not have gone next gen only. That's the unfortunate part that we're at now, is we're having to have these conversations, because we've said it many times before that we thought this was going to continue to be a problem. It's gotten worse than I ever dreamed it would. And it's only going to get worse the more that you add to the game. Like, it's not making me want to engage with the game right now, because I'm like, well, if I'm just going to keep getting locked out of it, why even bother booting it up? I'd rather just go play Diablo or try and keep working through Tears of the Kingdom. I play Destiny because I love Destiny.
Right.
I don't love this aspect of Destiny. I hate it. Like, I have to wonder, like, how many people did they pull off to put on Marathon at this point?
I mean, it seems like a lot. Really, honestly.
Like, I don't want to point fingers, and I don't want to backseat dev, because I think it's really disrespectful to these teams, but I think it's pretty fair for us to start wondering. I mean, we've wondered it about Crucible for years. Have you sent some of the network team over there? Like, that game is going to have dedicated servers. You're going to tell me fucking Destiny can't get dedicated servers? And I understand that probably requires an entire code rewrite. If they weren't already considering Destiny 3, it better be the top priority at that studio.
I mean, yeah. I mean, here's the thing: if you don't want to waste dedicated servers on Destiny 2 at this point, if you're going to have like a Destiny 3 or like whatever's next, right? And that maybe that will have dedicated servers, right?
So it has to be. It has to be. Like, so they have now, with this announcement for Marathon, they have now set the expectation. We have a question about Marathon this week from the dealer. Dealer writes in and goes, is Bungie still working on another PvP game?
Yes.
Other than Destiny. And or are they working on another game in general? Yes and yes. They are, as we talked about a couple weeks ago, they are working on Marathon, obviously. We covered it last fall. We covered it a couple weeks ago. Marathon is a strictly PvP experience. That is where almost the entire Crucible team went to. And I personally think... Oh, go ahead, Corey.
Oh, and that rumored hero shooter too, right?
So that's what I was going to get to. I think that is on ice. At best, I think it's on ice. I've become more and more convinced that I think that Matter... Yes, it was trademarked. All we ever heard were rumors about what it was, though. I think Marathon ultimately ends up being Matter.
You think? Because I thought they confirmed that it wasn't Matter.
I have no idea, but at this point, if it's not, then whatever Matter is needs to be on ice, because you need to save the franchise that makes you money. Yeah. I'm not saying that Destiny 2 is on life support. I'm saying that this game technically is going to limp to the finish line. And that's because we couldn't make the hard decision that needed to be made.
Yeah.
I would have rather, I know this is mean because we have a few people that are in the Discord who are still on PS4 or Xbox One. Guys, I'm really sorry. We needed to they needed to let you guys down gently. And I mean, imagine the final thing that you're able to play on those consoles. Like Destiny 2 still would have kept going on there, right? But imagine the last thing that you play is that final Seraph mission. Yeah. What a fucking way to go out.
Yeah.
What a way to end Destiny 2 on Xbox. On Xbox One and PS4. Like, I can't help but think that they should have just made the decision to do that. And like, listen, I'm armchair developing here. I don't know why they wouldn't do that. I do think that Witch Queen was probably too early, but at the same time, that would have been a pretty natural place for the final act.
Yeah.
To just do it. And like, yeah, you're going to have less players initially, but... And I do think that I will always think that without the pandemic, Witch Queen is a current gen only release. I will always think that.
Yeah. I mean, in my opinion, the perfect place to cut it off would have been Beyond Light, but...
It would have been, but I think that that would have been an issue with that would have been an issue with supply regardless.
Yeah.
So I don't think you could do that, but I think you definitely could have gone the other way and been like, well, with Witch Queen, we gave them a year and some change to get a console.
Yeah.
And if you would have just made the announcement like a year in advance, like during the Beyond Light reveal, for example, like been like, hey, we're setting the expectation now. By the time the Witch Queen releases, or even put it in that blog where they announced it was delayed, we're giving you 12 months notice right now. Joe Blackburn here, we're giving you 12 months notice. You have to have a PlayStation 5, an Xbox Series X, or an Xbox Series S in order to play this game on console.
Mm-hmm.
Or you must have like these specs on your PC in order to play this game. I do not think that is too unreasonable of a demand, personally. But what do I know? So we can sit here and armchair develop all day long. The bottom line is it's really starting to harm the game's reputation. In a bad way. I'm seeing a lot of people that I know as usually being pretty positive people in the community just being like, what the fuck? I don't even want to play this game right now if it's going to keep going down like this. I see people who are attempting solo flawless dungeons who are getting disconnect. They're getting to disconnect because they got to pull it off for emergency maintenance when they're like so close to finishing the boss. And I would be hesitant to do anything like that at this point.
Yeah.
With how unstable everything is.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know where you come down on that, but it's bad.
It sucks. It sucks, especially for people who like only play Destiny, right? And like they look forward to coming home from work one day, or like maybe they're off that day and they go to turn it on and it's down for like hours at a time. Like, that sucks. A lot of people look forward. Like this is a lot of people's wind down time, and like they just want to go shoot some stuff for a while.
I once described Destiny as my hobby game.
Yeah.
And it's becoming less and less of that, and it's feeling like more of a chore to play with all the server instability. And it's a shame because this is a game that up until about 6 months ago never had a reputation for this.
Why does it start? Like, why is this happening?
I can only imagine that doing things with subclass 3.0 is probably taking a huge toll on the back end. All the reworks they've done, all the changes they've done, the constant adding and canceling of and getting rid of content. Like, I can only imagine what that must be doing to this game on the back end.
Yeah, I mean,
but I don't know. I'm not a game dev. I have no idea. Just what a catastrophe! What an absolute catastrophe that the servers are.
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks. I feel bad for anybody who's like, I mean, we like. People like us, we have other games to play. We can tune it out. We can go do something else. But like I said, man, like there's people that this is the only game they play, or one of like 3 games a year that they play or something. Yeah. Right. And
this is some people's NBA 2K.
Yeah. Yeah. So sorry to those people.
It's becoming more and more prevalent in all these online games. It really irks me that Diablo has to constantly be connected online for that same reason.
Yeah.
But we do have some Destiny stuff to talk about ever so briefly here. Rebranding the TWAB. It's now the TWID this week in Destiny. I think we already basically said that, but I'm calling it the TWAB. I'm going to keep calling it the TWAB.
The TWID.
They are not sunsetting this on me.
Nope, they are.
They're not sunsetting this. They are running a fashion contest with a spiffy looking emblem here. Which we know you can express what Season of the Deep is all about with just 5 pieces of armor. Don your drippiest designs and try out the most combinations, and of course let us know with hashtag drown in the drip hashtag for a chance to win our very new and exclusive.
I don't like that.
Pret a Porter fashion emblem. You have until June 15th, so get to work, fashionistas. I love drown in the drip. I think that's great.
I hate it so much.
Grandmaster Nightfalls, of course, launch on June 13th, which is next week's reset. The Conquering Guild node will still open on week number 7. So get ready to face the Lightblade. If you're aiming to get the Adept version of the Wendigo GL3 heavy grenade launcher next week. And in case you are wondering, the Loaded Question Fusion Rifle and Braytech Osprey rocket launcher will be featured the following 2 weeks. So that's pretty exciting. Supremacy has entered the Rotator playlist in the Crucible. I want to read this because I found it really funny. You all owe Callie an apology. We need to talk. What did she ever do to you? What's your problem with murderous Taken Techians? We know the Supremacy got rewind rounds, the Techian Force has a sick PvP role, and that Reconstruction and Bait and Switch make Apex Predator a top-tier option for DPS, but that's no reason to put Callie into such a situation. A lot of you stepped into every plate to get double rewards, while others just cursed their aim over how many Golden Gun or Sleeper Stimulant shots they missed. Either way, the outcome would be the same. A lot of good loot. No wonder players spent 2.17 million hours in the last Wish raid during the first week of Season of the Deep. That is not only more than 247 years of playtime, but also the single highest week of total hours ever engaged in the activity, even bigger than last Wish's launch week back in 2018.
Wow.
They're not saying that they're going to fix this, which is pretty funny. But
they're probably afraid they're going to break something. Something
well,
else.
It's funny we say that because update 7.1.0.2 will be deployed on June 13th. A reminder, the extra reward awarded by the weekly Last Wish quest, the one handed by Hawthorne, was not intentional, so it's going away. Starting Tuesday, you'll get one deep sight weapon from it, since that was always the plan. You'll still earn at least another one every week, because the final chest after dumping Riven's Heart gives one per week and account. But you still have a few days till the fix is implemented. This update will re-enable Vesper of Radius, since it won't have such explosive behavior with certain weapons anymore. Sunbracers will have their increased duration of solar grenades restored. And after Saladin had a very long conversation with Kefri's Horn, the strange interactions this Titan exotic helmet allowed have been fixed. Did you see the videos of Kefri's Horn during Iron Banner last week?
Yeah, I saw a bunch of them.
I love that was being exploited, and then Bungie on a holiday weekend has to go in and say, nope, and change it. They changed the game mode at like 8 o'clock at night or something. They took control out and said, here you guys go. You get Eruption instead. Which is that's really funny to me. That is, honestly, that's it.
Yeah. Small TWAB. Twid.
Small twid. That is it. There is nothing else here.
Man, I mean, look, they had to have known people weren't a lot of people weren't paying attention to this week, right? Like,
not only that, but like, I also really wouldn't want to put out a weekly blog after, I don't know, the constant server outages. I also really wouldn't want to address this. I think that we're in a weird place now, because now that Marathon's been announced, every time that something goes wrong, the first thought's going to be, well, how many people could have fixed this that are working on Marathon instead?
Yeah.
And whether that's fair or unfair, it's a discussion for another day, but we're at a point where you got to decide what you're doing about the longevity of this game. You need to call Sony and be like, hey man, we need money to hire more engineers.
Right.
Or to start fixing the servers, or like kickstart development of dedicated servers for whatever is next. If that was not built with dedicated servers in mind, I don't know what to tell you. This game has to have those going forward.
Right.
So
that's rough.
Oh, it's real. It's real rough. It's real bad. Yeah, that's it for the Twid this week.
The Twid.
Oh, it's not as much fun to say as the TWAB. I don't like it.
I hate it. Oh,
I hate
it's so
it.
gross.
It's got like 2 years to grow on us, though, Corey. So
it's not going to grow on us, man.
It's not going to grow on us at all. You are absolutely right.
Gross. I don't even like saying it. The Twid.
Yeah, it's just kind of gross, honestly. There's just this way. I wouldn't say like the story was like inconsequential this week. This definitely does feel like a bit more of a laid back season, though. There's definitely story implications when you go and do the Veil quest. I actually have not done weeks 2 and 3 of it yet. I need to. And then this week's story content I thought was really cool between Sloan, Drifter, and Saladin. I think it was really interesting. Even if it wasn't like massively impactful, it's just like, Drifter actually does like care about others. He's not, he's not who you want. He wants you to think that he is.
Yeah.
He's actually a big ass softy at heart.
Yeah, he is. Drifter.
Uncle Drifter. Creepy Uncle Drifter. But yeah, there's not a whole lot for the story. Have you done one of these deep dives at like the most difficult they can get?
No, I am not as difficult as they can get.
Dude,
Mm-mm.
so I did a couple rank 5 ones last week. You can now get it up
Oof.
to rewards times 7.
Oh,
Um that is a wild experience. I was not able to finish that with a match made team. That is something you're going to have to do with a dedicated group of friends who know what they're doing.
that sounds I don't know. Sounds a
A
little
little
rough.
ominous.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
It's
mean,
cool though. I mean,
it's still good. It's just it's definitely not for the faint of heart.
yeah. Oh, of course. No.
Still chasing this stupid exotic.
Well, see, Josh, you're chasing it. It's like
I mean, I
chasing
want the
waterfalls,
trace, but it's
Josh.
like I'm gonna log in. I'm gonna do the story. I'm gonna do my weekly dungeon run, and then I'm probably going back to Diablo or Final Fantasy or playing as Optimus Prime in Fortnite or something.
Oh yeah, man. Optimus Prime and Fortnite might get me back in.
He's the level 100 skin.
I know, but I can just have my nephews come over and play for a few
That's
hours, and
fair.
they'll get it for me.
That's fair. Your kids aren't quite old enough to do that for you yet.
No, no, but my nephews are, so it's fine. Well, I'll get them to do it.
Yeah, there's just like there's so much other stuff going on right now, and it's like this is a slower season. Like I would encourage anybody who's feeling like they're kind of stuck in a gameplay loop that this is a pretty good time to take a break. I think, not that there
Yeah,
aren't like story beats happening, but like you can take a break. The dungeon's already been out for a few weeks. A lot of us have already grinded it. Um,
yeah.
Pop into your dungeon. Still waiting for the exotic quest to go live. Waiting on some narrative beats, but
Oh yeah, the exotic quest.
yeah, there is an exotic quest coming. In fact, we actually have a question about spending some of this time. Saint 14 writes, "Setting goes for me this season is more laid back and less of a crazy grind. I think part of that's due to the fact that we're not chasing power levels this season. Um, I've been finishing up some quests and things I haven't been able to previously. My season of catch up. Is there anything in particular you are wanting to get done this season, such as exotics, story, armor, etc.?"
Oh man. I mean, I'm kind of like with Zelda and Final Fantasy specifically. I'm just kind of like I'm kind of tuned out right now, to be honest with you. You know, the way that you are with like Diablo and obviously
Yeah.
Zelda. Like I'm just kind of like I want to get in. I'll finish my season pass, right? I mean, I'm almost done now, but like I don't know. I'm not like compelled to grind anything. You know, I just kind of want to. I don't know. Like you said, this is a good season to kind of take off and play other games, or you know, go outside maybe because it's June.
Ugh, not in Texas. I will not be going outside. Forget that.
Mm,
I would like to chase a couple of exotics this season. Obviously, I want the trace rifle. I'd like to go start taking chances at hierarchy of needs again and conditional finality. I would like to get all of those. That would really be the only way that I would be playing catch up this season. Because other than that, I mean, I'm just chilling.
yeah.
I'm just chilling. I'm here. It doesn't like super bother me, honestly.
Hmm.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
I do think that this season being more laid back is a really good thing. I think that the devs are also like pretty tired. I wouldn't say the second season is where it happens. Usually the third season is like the season that they seem to take off. I think they really needed to now though.
Yeah.
So I hope that seasons 3 and 4, fingers crossed. I hope that those are bangers. But for right now, I'm like kind of cool with just like sitting out.
Yeah. I kind of feel like that, especially the last season this year will be like that's going to be the banger, right? I feel like leading into
Oh
the
God,
final
I
shape.
hope so. It has to be all bangers all the time at this point.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, that's what I'm looking forward to, really.
Yeah. I will back that up. I guess in continuing with the questions, because we do have some Destiny related questions
Yeah,
and some non-Destiny
questions.
questions. Joasis asks, "What is your favorite destination of Destiny 1 or Destiny 2, except for the Dreadnought? Because that's an obvious choice." What you thinking, Corey?
I mean, I really like the Plague Lands from Destiny 1, but I also really I really liked Europa when we went there, honestly.
Mhm.
I thought Europa was super cool when we went there. So those would probably be my choices, but yeah, the Dreadnought was obviously a banger. So Dreaming City
Yeah.
too, I guess.
The Dreaming City, I would love to say the Dreaming City, but man, just talk about promises unrealized. Um,
Oh, the Infinite Forest.
God,
Promises
the
unrealized.
Infinite Forest. Um, I'm gonna probably go in terms of like the look and aesthetic. I'll probably go with Nessus. I really like Nessus. I like how it's a forest planet that's also been terraformed by the Vex. I think that's kind of fascinating from a perspective of Destiny's lore.
Yeah.
Because I don't really have one in Destiny 1 outside of the Dreadnought. Like, nothing was actually like, super memorable to me. I had nothing but bad experiences on Venus. Mars was a pain in the ass to get around.
Yeah,
And
D1 Mars sucked.
D1 Mars sucked. D2 wasn't too much better, but Escalation Protocol was at least fun.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know what else. I think that would probably be the only location across both games. I'd be like, yeah, I really love this location. I do like the Dreaming City a lot. I just think that the promises are unrealized. So
Yeah.
That proves to be a problem.
Yeah. Hopefully I don't know. Hopefully once they get everything situated, I'm almost of the mind that they just kind of want to get through Destiny 2 and release whatever's next and like have that clean slate of fully realized stuff, right?
God,
Because
I
like
hope so.
it just feels like between like vaulting some planets and like bringing in these, new revamped subclasses and kind of, playing around with artifacts and are we not using power levels, right? Like they the more and more I've been thinking about it, the more and more I'm like, they need a clean slate. They need a Destiny 3, right? They need it. And like, yeah, stuff from Destiny 2 might be able to carry over like your character or like your triumphs or things similar to from Destiny 1 to Destiny 2, but like they want that clean slate. I'm more and more of the mind that I would like a clean slate after the final shape into a new game. So yeah.
Yeah. I'm hoping for a clean slate myself. We desperately need it. Tiger Jesus asks us, will we ever see glaives with different melee combos? I hope so, but I have a feeling that's going to have to be something that revamps the entire melee system. So probably would be a Destiny 3 thing.
Yeah.
But I do think that in the future we'll see it. I would actually love one where like you shoot the tip of the glaive out, similar to like you already do, but it like sticks into an enemy. And like in my wildest dreams, you would get to swing that enemy around like it's on a blade of chaos or something.
Yeah.
I think that would be really fun to see. I am hopeful that we start getting them. I would like to see charged melee attacks, like if I have my hunter class on, for example, when I slide and melee in that class, I shoot off a lightning burst. I would like to be able to do that with my glaive. I think that could be just really, really fun, even if I had to use an arc glaive to do it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get all the Destiny questions together at once. I think that's actually it for the Destiny questions. We have 2 questions from Jiggly Panda.
Jiggly Panda.
Since I haven't seen anyone ask a sports question, who do y'all got winning the NBA Finals? The Denver Nuggets, man.
God.
It's the Nuggets. Man. They shouldn't have lost game 2. That was embarrassing.
Yeah. I mean, I just want the Nuggets to win because I don't like the Heat based on the whole LeBron James thing from like 10 years ago. That's really
true.
Corey,
Corey does hold some animosity towards that.
And now Kevin Love is there now. So
I still hold a grudge over the 2006 NBA Finals, so I understand. Yeah, it's the Nuggets. Jokic is the best player in the world. Just, he should have won the MVP this year. He should have won 3 in a row. It's absolute travesty that Joel Embiid won.
Isn't it funny that like right now the 2 best NBA players are 2 like unassuming kind of flubby white guys?
Oh my, fuck it, dude!
with
If
Luca.
Luca showed up in shape, he would never lose the MVP again.
Oh man, it's so funny.
God,
It reminds me of like when Dirk was around a little bit, right? Like
yeah,
just this tall, goofy, unassuming dude that just dominated.
tall ass
Man,
German guy who hit you with that fadeaway.
oh man, Dirk was so good. I love Dirk so much.
Dude, his statue in Dallas brought tears to my eyes.
Oh.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And to be clear, I'm rooting for the Nuggets because my team is not my team that I make the postseason. So, noted Dallas Mavericks fan. And if you all could have anyone voice your ghost, who would it be and why?
Oh gosh, there's so many good ones.
Oh, I feel like you could have a lot of fun with this.
Dude, I'm shocked that Activision, like, I know it would have cost a ton of money because the ghost talks so much, but like downloadable, like the way they do in Call of Duty with the announcer packs or like the characters that they bring in, like Snoop Dogg or something.
Even if it was just for like the generic like patrol dialogue.
Yeah. Like Morgan Freeman.
I'm gonna say that I would really love I would have really loved to have either John Mulaney or Owen Wilson.
Pre or post cocaine?
Yes. Yes. Both. I also feel like I would accept Jake Johnson, but in his role as Peter B. Parker.
Oh yeah.
It cannot be Jake Johnson from New Girl or from Jurassic World. He specifically has to be from Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Like when he's discovered the burger joint that's his favorite and it's been closed on his Earth for like 10 years. By the way, I know this is a side tangent. Corey, we got to get your answer for your ghost voice. But man, Across the Spider-Verse, what a fucking movie. What a whole ass movie.
That's what I hear.
It is pretty good. Not only one of the best animated movies ever made, it's one of the finest sequels ever made. It's in that rarefied air with Empire Strikes Back, Godfather 2. It's one of the very few that is better than its original. I have like 4 sequels I can think of off the top of my head that are better than the original that I would like say are also near perfect. And that's Empire, Godfather Part 2, Toy Story 2. I take that back. I only have 3. It's in that rare area though. We'll see if Beyond the Spider-Verse actually makes it out next year in March, but oh god, I have not left the theater wanting to see a movie again so quickly in a very long time. I'm actually really considering going to a early morning matinee tomorrow just to have a completely empty theater to myself so I can like look for all the Easter eggs.
Cool.
Very rewarding, very great movie. Watch it with your kids, everyone. Watch it with your kids. It's a fantastic, phenomenal movie. And I'll guarantee you it doesn't go over their head. But this is the kind of thing you need. It has like 7 different animation styles throughout it. I don't know if this movie was pitched with or without drugs, but whatever you did, keep it going. Makes me very excited that there are some spinoffs planned in the future.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
They've already stated their intent to do some short films with John Mulaney's Spider-Ham, and for there to be a female Spider-Man team up of Gwen Stacy, Jessica Drew, and Silk. So
cool.
That should be fun too. Are you going to get the Super Mario Brothers movie, Corey?
Am I going to get it?
Yes. Are you going to buy the Super Mario Brothers movie?
I don't. Maybe. I don't know.
Corey, do you buy movies? That's the next question. Do you buy movies?
No, dude. Let me tell you.
Will you buy this for your children?
I mean, I thought about it. I would like to see it first. I haven't seen it yet, so
I was very bummed today when they said that when it came out from Jeff Snyder that it was pretty reliable that Illumination and Nintendo are closing a deal to do a Legend of Zelda film, and that actually like filled me with existential dread that the Minions studio will be trying to make a Legend of Zelda movie.
Yeah, but they made a Mario movie though.
Yeah, but Mario doesn't really need like plot.
Yeah, well,
Zelda has like 4 different timeline branches, Corey.
I know, but Ganon
is like the ultimate shit talker.
I wonder if they're gonna do like a Wind Waker style movie.
I think that's the only, if you're going to keep the same style, that's the only way you could really do it, I think, without it looking corny.
Mm-hmm.
I would just prefer a traditional 2D animated film. And I know that's not going to happen, but I would really love to see what, like, a studio, like some of these anime studios, we see like the studio behind Demon Slayer or behind Attack on Titan, could do with The Legend of Zelda. And I think
Mm-hmm.
Zelda also kind of fits into that category of like something like The Last of Us, where I don't think you can tell this story in 100 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, I think you need, like, at the very least, I think you could do it in like 6 episodes. But if you're going to tell something like Ocarina of Time or The Wind Waker, you can't cram that into an hour and a half. That's just not going to happen. And then, God forbid, you get into something. I mean, Ocarina of Time is pretty complex. God forbid that you decide to do something like, Breath of the Wild or Skyward Sword or, Link to the Past. Like, you're trying to go over the imprisoning war at that point. Majora's Mask has all this time travel. Wind Waker covers an entire ocean.
Yeah.
And different realities on top of that. Like, there's very few games I think that you could actually, in the series, that I think you could adapt into one movie. And like, one of the only ones is Minish Cap, and they're certainly not going to do that because Ganondorf is nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is, if we're going to do the Wind Waker style for this, I need Fat Ganon to make a return.
Yeah.
I need thick, fat Wind Waker Ganon, who is arguably the most terrifying of the Ganondorfs, I think.
Yeah.
Because he's willing to murder a couple of like 10-year-old kids.
Yeah. Well, that was, I mean,
and the King of Hyrule does like fuck all. He just touches the fucking Triforce and then pieces out until you kill him.
Fair. Yeah, you're right.
Absurd. Absolutely absurd. It's ludicrous. Will Matt Mercer also voice Ganondorf in this movie?
Why not?
I feel like he kind of has to. He knocks it out of the fucking park in Tears of the Kingdom.
Why not?
I love Matt Mercer. He's great. Who would you want voicing your ghost?
Well, I have one request actually, Josh, for our buddy Fox. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Adam Sandler is going to voice his ghost for the rest of time.
Oh my god. Is it Adam Sandler? So which Adam Sandler though? Is it Adam Sandler from The Waterboy? Is it Adam Sandler from
I think it's
Gems?
No, I think it's like Billy Madison Adam Sandler, but like when he's in the pool drunk, not like smart Adam Sandler at the end, but like,
I need it to be Billy Madison in the pool meets the convict from The Longest Yard.
Oh god.
There needs to be like a ghost of Burt Reynolds there.
Oh god. No joke though. Actually, what would be funny is if you like when you bought that, you got a little transmog thing for your ghost where it like the little like circle that floats above his head, and it's just Burt Reynolds like mustache and afro from the 70s.
God, don't get handlebar mustaches for ghosts. Yep. Let's have it.
Yeah. But for me, man, I had a good one and then we just got sidetracked.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
I think like I don't know, Morgan Freeman would be a good one, but like I feel like that's played out. That's pretty played out, I feel like, at this point.
Yeah, I wouldn't like that as a ghost. I feel like I would just like delete him.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind like a nice like a female voice narrating me through this game though. Like a nice kind of calming
you know whose voice would be really soothing? It's not a female, but David Attenborough.
Yeah.
Would you like Destiny described like you're playing Planet Earth?
Maybe. Yeah, I want to hear him describe other planets.
It only works in the EDZ in the Cosmodrome.
Yeah. Mark Wahlberg. Oh my god, can you imagine him as a ghost?
I could imagine him as a ghost. Someone else, God rest his soul, that I would have loved. My girlfriend's been watching Sopranos for the first time. She's never seen it. I've watched it a couple times all the way through. And she absolutely loves Polly Walnuts on the show. Tony Sirico, R.I.P., would have been hilarious as a ghost. Him or Michael Imperioli, who plays Christopher on the show. Absolutely great. Just give me that Italian accent.
Yeah.
An Italian mobster being your ghost would just be great.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. I also think like Ice-T would be funny.
Oh my god, have you seen John Mulaney's bit about Ice-T on SVU?
Yeah.
So great.
He
Yeah,
always looks
Ice.
surprised.
Talking about contusions.
Oh, that's so
Oh,
funny.
Jesus Christ.
So last before we
You're
move on,
good. We don't have any more questions.
I've had a new kind of appreciation for John Mulaney over the last year or so.
He's
And
great.
his new stand-up special was actually really good. I liked how he just kept addressing that little kid in the corner of the audience.
Oh, it's great. I really like just how like his whole story of like the intervention is hilarious.
Yeah.
They made him take his shoes off because they thought it would prevent him from running down the street. And he was like, I am high on drugs. I have not slept in 48 hours. What makes you think I will not run down the street barefoot to get to my drugs? It's very self-aware, and I really enjoyed that about him. We've seen his stand-ups so many times. We quote them all the time in this house. But that you can very clearly tell this is why he was not in Across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Is because he was finishing up a rehab stint and busy being a parent with Olivia Munn of all people. So kudos there. Before we move to, well, I guess we'll do the lore corner. Never mind. I was going to do things out of order. We're going to do the lore corner, and then we're going to talk a little bit about episode 150 before we get out of here.
Yeah, man, that's next week.
That is next week. It is coming up rapidly. The piece that we have to read. I've been kind of debating if I was going to do one or two. Because I'm pretty sure that I've already read this one. So we're gonna read. Hang on, I got sneeze.
A sneeze, he says.
Oh my god, I'm like half asleep. I'm feeling under the weather now. I have not slept good in 2 weeks.
Well, stop playing so many video games and take a nap.
Dude, it's not even that. I go to bed. I take medication to help, and it is just nothing is working right now, unfortunately. This is the Sparrow to be remembered. Each night, the clamor of the tower hangar gives way to silence as the engineers change shifts. Neek used to find the lull unnerving, preferring to bask in the sounds of arc welders and power tools. Together, she and Amanda would speak about nothing and everything over the capography. Now Neek prefers the silence. Her servitor shines the light on the Sparrow in front of her as it had done for weeks. After making some final adjustments, Neek circles around to the front of the Sparrow and hits the ignition. The engine sputters and burns out. It's happened 100 times before on other nights with other Sparrows, but this time something is different. Neek snarls an Elixir curse and hurls her spanner at the floor. Then she buries her face in her forehands and collapses into a heap, her eyes glistening with tears and her ether tank rattling with her ragged sobs. Well, there's your problem, crackles a voice behind her. She looks up to see her servitor projecting a holo recording. Miniature recreations of herself and Amanda crouch next to another Sparrow as Amanda gestures to its thrusters with a grease-stained arm. She imparts a lesson about its functionality with a smile that says she enjoys sharing the knowledge. Watching now, Neek can't help but smile too. It was a lesson she had forgotten, but thanks to her servitor, it would stay with her forever. She wipes away her tears with a grease-stained arm and gets back to work. This is a pretty fitting conclusion to, I think, not just Neek and Amanda's story, but Amanda's story in general. That her legacy is felt beyond. This one for me feels more earned than the lore we read about Sloane being so broken up about Amanda's death.
Yeah.
Like, okay, cool. They interacted in like one scene maybe in the campaign, and it makes it sound like they were like best friends for all these years when I never got that vibe ever.
Yeah.
This is pretty fitting, though. We followed the story of Amanda and Neek ever since Splicer, and this feels like an earned conclusion. I think that's what I like the most about it, and that it's funny. Like the servitors are going to keep Amanda's memory alive. I don't know if that's the way she would have wanted it, considering how distrusting she was at first, and it took quite a while for her to come around on it. But I like that we finally got to that point, and I hope that one day we get to see Neek in an official like NPC capacity. I would love for Neek to be like the Sparrow and ship vendor going into whatever the next game is.
Yeah, I mean, especially if they we've kind of hypothesized that we might go to Reese at some point,
Mhm.
and like we take a group of Fallen with us on in whatever ship we take. I'm assuming some type of
The helm.
yeah. I was gonna say maybe our own capital ship, but
Yeah.
that's uh and I like what's happening. So
Yeah. I'm happy. That's gonna be our lore corner for tonight. The other piece that I had picked out when I was skimming it, I realized that we've already read it. So that's gonna do it for a lore corner tonight. Before we get out of here, Corey, we have a big anniversary next week.
yeah, the big 150, as
The
they
big
say.
150, as they say. So I wanted to announce that we are doing a giveaway. And this is a way for us to say thank you. It's not a big, elaborate giveaway like we did for episode 100, but there is going to have to be some stuff you're going to have to do in order to enter. I wanted to make this available to people who are in the Discord or who listen to us without being a part of the Discord. I know we have a few people who have written in the past. Jacob and Christy. I remember you guys. Christy won our giveaway last year for the Grimoire Anthology. This year, the prize is going to be the fabled Halo graphic novel that I was insistent I had somewhere. I finally found it in one of my boxes. It was still sealed. That is going to be my giveaway for episode 150. I will write a note in it from Corey and myself and ship it to whoever wins. As a thank you for being a listener, this and that, personalized note. In order to enter this, I'll make a channel in the Discord for it. I'll make a place in the Discord for it and mark it very clearly. Episode 150 giveaway. You will have until we record next Thursday night. You will have until 6 p.m. on Thursday, Central Time, to submit your entry. What I want is I want your best one sentence summary of the show. I want your best and funniest. And you can only enter one time.
Best and funniest.
Yep, I want your best, funniest. Yeah, best or funniest, whatever. And I want to be able to read these on the show. But the reason why we need it beforehand is because I want to be able to announce the winner on episode 150. I've already talked to the mods in Discord about this. I've talked to Johnny and Fox and Joe about this, and Nerd. The four of them will not be eligible for this. They can still submit, and I encourage them to. They can still submit something to be read on the show. But working on something special for the mods for later this year. But wanted to do something to make sure it goes back to the community, that it's something special for them for this. And all I'll say beyond that is I'm starting to quietly assemble a prize pool for episode 200 already. I'm setting aside some codes and maybe some Destiny 1 memorabilia.
Yeah.
Into a pile. I did come across one of the Destiny 1 steel books a couple of months ago.
Nice.
And I have that off to the side.
Nice.
That will be my contribution. If you are not in the Discord, very important, you can email your entry into us at towercasuals@gmail.com, or you can DM me on Twitter at Josh_Finn with 2 N's. We're just going to try and keep it central to those 3 places, so that I can do the tallying up. Everybody will be assigned a number, and I will put it into an RNG generator right before we do the show, so that I can announce the winner at the top of the show. So,
I just want to. I want to say one thing real quick, Josh.
Yeah. No, you're good. You're good.
I think our Discord is one of the most well-run Discords that I'm in by far. Like,
I would agree with that.
Like just the way, like, I've never really seen. I mean, there's rarely an issue, right? There's rarely anybody posting things they're not supposed to, right? It's phenomenal how clean our Discord is, and just shout out to Nerd, shout out to the mods, shout out to people keeping it good in there. I mean, it's It's incredible. And I know I haven't been in there as much as I should be, but like,
Yeah.
man.
Definitely shout outs to Nerd and Fox, and I know Johnny and Joe were in there a lot, moderating, but shouts to Nerd and Fox, Ronnie, Aaron, and Saint in particular. Those guys have been they've been moderating, they've been setting up raids, they've been setting up dungeon runs, and they're starting to set up some PvP events. Just, man, kudos to you guys, because without y'all, this does not run. This Discord does not run. I think that the reason that it is so well run is because you guys are just outstanding. You guys are outstanding in everything you do. Also, shout out Minded Emperor 9. I completely forgot you. We just stepped up to be our Crucible battle master in the last couple of weeks. I have just been completely disconnected. But you guys, putting together events from Iron Banner, six stacking an Iron Banner, with, comical weapons, to, doing triumph runs for raid encounters, to teaching dungeons and raids for the first time. You guys have been absolutely awesome and are absolutely the backbone of our community. Like, our community isn't what it is without you guys. So I really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's awesome. So thank you, everybody. Really.
Thank you, everybody.
So, what else we got, Josh?
I think that's about it, honestly. I think that we're about ready to get out of here.
Yeah. Josh, you and I are covering the Xbox showcase.
Yes.
Very excited for that. So I don't know if we're going to talk. We'll probably talk a little bit about it on this show, but Josh and I are doing a very special episode of my other podcast to do that. I'm very excited because Josh brings the charts. You know what I mean?
I bring charts and I bring numbers. I'm very excited to do both.
Yeah. So I'm very excited for that episode, Josh. I'm like chomping at the bit for Sunday.
Man, listen, if we can endure this getting leaked, if we can endure Persona getting leaked, I think we're in a good position, Corey.
Yeah. Also, are we covering anything else besides the Xbox showcase that day, or?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Not to my knowledge. We can talk about this afterwards, though.
I know we could. I just I got in a zone. So
AutoZone.
Right. Yeah. Anyways, I want to thank everybody for watching and or listening to this episode of Tower Casuals. You can follow us on social media at Tower Casuals. Join the Discord. We want all of your words for episode 150. Josh, thank you for your time tonight, as always.
As
where
always.
can we find you?
Josh_Finn, 2 N's.
Also, I know there's been a request for Planet specific shirts on the store. I'm going to get there. Oh, Josh, I forgot to tell you.
You forgot to tell me.
And I meant to tell you last week. But our store, I want to thank everybody who bought stuff from the store. And under the name Tower Casuals, we made a donation to Lance Reddick's Mom Cares
for the Baltimore
charity.
Moms.
Yeah, for charity for $200.
That's fantastic. We were really hoping we'd be able to make a donation to that. Chelsea and I will be making a separate donation later on in the year for it.
Yeah. So, but Tower Casuals community couldn't do that without you guys. So, thank you. Thank you for that. Seriously. But anyways, you can find me at I'm Corey HD on Twitter and Instagram. I want to thank everybody for watching and or listening. And until next time, we love you. Goodbye.